Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel. I'll make sure I'll leave a link to that in the description and the live chat as well, because I'll be posting a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and you're doing missing out on that, so make sure you go check that out. But like I said, we've got another live stream, so I'm going to talk you through what's happening in the chart and see if you've got any opportunities coming up. So first, we're going to start with ADUSD. So you can see with this one, on the 4-hourly, still moving quite choppy. We did see a push to the downside towards the end of yesterday, as you can see here. We had this previous area of of 4-hourly resistance. As you can see, there resistance, and acting as support. We saw a nice move to the downside. Price did test that as support again. You can see a brief move to the upside, but we're starting to look bearish again. You can see we just had that engulfing candle coming back into the market, just below those moving averages. So the momentum, it looks like it could be building up for the bears, and we could be seeing a longer move to the downside if we do see a candle go and break through this support area, and then we can go a lot further. You can see on the daily chart, we did see an engulfing candle yesterday from this previous high all the way up here. So again, we got the wicks into that area where we saw that move to the downside from, and we tested it again yesterday with that wick to the upside, and the day before that as well on Friday, last week Friday. And from then we start to look bearish, engulfing candle there. So the momentum could be shifting from the bulls to the bears for ADUSD. And if we do see a break of that level on the 4-hourly, we can go a lot further to the downside, and possibly go and test the 200 average potentially. Got some previous lows here. Price can probably go reach, and again, if we break through that, we can go a lot further. Got a nice area of previous resistance on the daily chart, will be turn support as well. So if you do see a break of that level on the 4-hourly, you can go a lot further, but again, it's still acting as support, so price needs to go and break that for this trade to really kick into the downside. EURUSD had a similar thing, but we saw a much bigger of a bounce to the upside. You can see we had all here previous daily resistance. As you can see in this, your test there, push the downside, test there, push the downside, another test, push the downside, not as far, but we did see some rejection. And you can see in the 4-hourly, we did kind of have a test of that area, and price did shoot back up. Again, we still haven't taken out the previous highs that we did make, so again, we could still see another push to the downside unless price remains bullish, obviously, and goes and take out those highs, and then of course we can go a lot higher for USD. But if you start to see some bearish candles come back into the market, we could be on our way back down to go and test this level and possibly go and break it. And again, if we do break this level, we can go a lot further to the downside for USD. Again, we got multiple areas we could target. Got the 200 average not too far away. Got this key support area here on the 4H. Got support there. Of course, you've got support all the way down at the lows. So a lot of potential to the downside for EURUSD. If you were to start to see some strong bearish candles coming back into the market, as you can see from this area before, we had those two strong bearish candles. Price has gone back up, maybe to retest it. And then we can see price come bearish again and see a nice move to the downside. So that's still on the cards for EURUSD. Again, you can see we're right up near to the highs of those wicks that we had late August. So again, if we were to see a move to the downside, it could be from this area in the market. There's a possibility of getting one last push to the upside, breaking through the highs, just to take out people's stop losses, because obviously a lot of people will be having their stop losses above the highs there. So again, we could see that move, a false breakout essentially, then see the move back down for USD, potentially go and test the lows that we have down here, or even further if you get to the lows all the way down there. So a lot of downside potential for USD, but again, still looking slightly bullish from those from that H4 candle close that we had at 10 AM. The momentum is to the upside, but we're kind of to some resistance, so it'll be interesting to see how the next candle closes. USD CAD, similar thing. We did see another push to the downside this morning on the 4H. You can see we're right back at the lows of USD CAD. You can see initially a push to the upside here, push back down, retest it again yesterday, and then we tested it again this morning with the wick of that 4H close. So again, we're right at the lows of USD CAD. Potentially could be seeing another swing to the upside. You can see we had this big bearish trend to the downside. We're back at the lows where we previously were at back in December last year. So again, we could be seeing a nice move to the upside from this area. Again, we did see this big push to the upside from that same area. Again, we're not going to have to see the exact same push and the exact same size of the level that we had previously, but again, it is a really nice area where we could see a swing to the upside for USD CAD, even from a daily point of view. And 4H, we're starting to get some wicks to the downside, so it does show that we are rejecting. Maybe if we get one more strong bullish close there above our moving averages, or just engulfing our previous candles, we could look to go long for USD CAD and see if we can catch a swing to the upside. We do have price kind of trading in this channel here, as you can see, connecting the lows, connecting the highs of price there, so kind of trapped in between those two trend lines. But if we were to see a break, again, we can go a lot further to the upside. We got the previous high where we started having this move to the downside in that channel, so potentially could be seeing a test of that area, or potentially even further. On the daily chart, we do have a bit of a trend line keeping us in that downtrend, so again, you can see initial test there, second there, third, so it could be on our way to go and test that trend line for a fourth time. So again, that is still a possibility. So not really interested in any of the short setups for USD CAD, only expecting swings to the upside, so we'll be looking at for price action coming in for this pair. Could be late today, or maybe late this week, so we'll be keeping an eye out for a swing to the upside for USD CAD. USD I got into this trade yesterday. I'm going to close above our moving averages and looking for a push to the upside. As you can see on the daily chart, we're at some previous daily support going through the market here. As you can see, support there, support there, support there, false breakout essentially with the vaccine news. And then again, we tested it again yesterday with that strong bullish engulfing candle that we had on the daily chart for yesterday's candle. So again, it's looking good on the move to the upside. We did have some previous support time resistance for us, which is why we had the move to the downside this morning. As you can see, we had a move to the downside, found support with all those wicks on the daily chart, pushed the upside, broke back below it, retested it with that engulfing candle. So again, we did see a bearish reaction from that, but I'm still expecting a break of that area and probably another push to the upside. We do have this trend line keeping us in the downwards trend, so at least expecting a test of that trend line up there. On the daily chart, you see it look better than the 4H, so at least expecting a test of that trend line up there for a fifth time, I believe. See a first there, second, third, fourth, yeah, so a fifth time of that trend line. And again, if we break through that, we can go a lot further, but again, the initial targets would be around that area for USD next, we're going to take a look at AD CAD. Now AD CAD starting to look bearish again. We did see a nice push to the downside yesterday. Looks like price was moving sideways overnight early this morning, and we could be having another push to the downside for USD CAD. We did kind of break out of our trend line here in the market, as you can see, keeping us in the uptrend. Initial test here, then we had a second there, third, fourth, and then we saw the break yesterday, move sideways a bit, so a bit of correction. Could be seeing price continue to the downside for AD CAD, and in that case, we could be coming all the way back to the lows that we had previously, all the way down here on the 4H, or maybe the 200 moving average just above it. So again, nice downwards potential for AD CAD. A lot of downside targets for us there. You can see on the daily chart. We did come up to retest some previous daily resistance. You can see with these wicks all along here. Previous resistance, which gave us the move to the downside, creating some new lows. We came all the way back up, retesting it, so I was expecting this area to hold. We did see some wicks above it, probably catch people out on the wrong side of the market on the lower time frames, and then we saw that big bearish candle coming into the market yesterday, and again the momentum looks like it could be continuing on from that candle. So again, looking for AD CAD to continue to the downside. Probably have a target for AD CAD to go and reach the lows down here. Previous support there gave us the move to the upside, essentially expecting price to come and retest those lows. So AD CAD expecting that to move to the downside unless we start to see some strong bullish candles coming back into the market, but nonetheless still expecting a nice swing to the downside for AD CAD. Next, we're going to take a look at AD/NZD. Now this one still to be seems to be climbing to the downside. We do have a little bit of a channel here. Looks like price is testing the lows of this channel. It seems to be struggling to break back above. As you can see, we do have this trend line here in the market. If we connect the highs, I had an initial test there, second there, and for the lower trend line we had multiple tests, but it seems to be that price is struggling to have a push to the upside for AD/NZD. You can see in the 4-hourly we're kind of just trending along this lower trend line, so we're struggling to get the push to the upside, so looking quite bearish for AD/NZD, and for us to see any reversals to the upside we need to see some strong bullish candles coming back into the market for this one. We are coming back to a strong area of weekly resistance in the market. As you can see, if I draw this level across, you can see a big push to downside, retesting this area as resistance, a lot of wicks above it, saw a big move to the downside. Again, after that we broke it back above it. Now we're retesting that same area, so we're actually testing a weekly area of resistance now turned support, and could be seeing a move to the upside if we do hold from there. But again, the price action on the lower time frames and the daily and the weekly is showing that we are very bearish, and if that momentum continues and remain bearish, obviously we can break through that level and go a lot further. But like I said, we are testing a really strong level in the market. Previous weekly resistance now turned weekly support for ADNZD. So if we were to have a reversal, it could be from this sort of area. We could do obviously a situation of a false breakout maybe, but again, from this area we could be seeing a longer move to the upside for ADNZD, and you can see we've been trending to the downside for quite some time now before seeing any major bullish candles coming in on the weekly chart. So we're probably due a move to the upside. We're testing some strong areas on the weekly chart. Again, price action on the lower time frames at the 4-hourly is not showing us any upside potential yet, but again, we'll be looking out for a reversal to the upside for ADNZD. As of yet, we are still bearish though, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that. Next, we're going to take a look at NZD/USD. NZD/USD still looking for a move to the downside for this one. You can see we had a big push to the upside in the daily chart, breaking out of these highs here. Previous resistance, had a double top there, pushed the downside, broke back above it, and you can see we didn't really get any retest of this area. This previous resistance will be now turned support, and we saw a break above it and no retest. So again, we'll probably due price coming back to go and retest this area at least, or potentially break further past the area, but at least come test that area before continuing in this upwards journey if it wants to. So again, you can see how far we've moved past it. Even on the weekly chart, you can see resistance there, broke back above it. We had a really impulsive move to the upside even from a weekly point of view. So again, only looking for shorts for NZD/USD and looking to capitalize on the 4H time frame to get into it. But you can see the price action is not really there for us yet, closing back above our moving averages, keeping us on the uptrend. We do have this trend line here. As you can see, I connect the lows of price, and if I connect the highs of price, again, we do have this upper trend line as well. So kind of just moving in this tight channel. We've got the upper trend line and the lower trend line. So you can see we're kind of just moving to the upside, and as long as price remains bullish, we can go a lot higher. Obviously on an uptrend, price does have the momentum on its side, but again, not really interested in the buying opportunities for NZD/USD. More interested in the swing back down to come retest this daily resistance, now turn support. So only looking for selling opportunities. It does look like we're struggling to create some new higher highs there on the 4H. As you can see, we had a push to the upside, back down again. Then we have that doji closing at 10 a.m. today. So again, we are struggling to create some highs. So it does show some signs that we are starting to run out of steam, and a reversal could be incoming. So again, we'll be looking out to see some strong bearish candles come back into the market for NZD/USD, and look to short the market and possibly go and test this area all the way down there. And similar thing for NZD/CAD as well. Similar situation, broke out some highs on the daily chart. You can see previous resistance there, big push to the downside. We're expecting a nice test of that and a pull back down, but you can see we broke through that area, and price has yet to have a pull back into that area of resistance, now turned support. So again, similar with NZD/USD and NZD/CAD, breaking up the highs, expecting price to at least come back to retest it. Again, price action is not really there for us as of yet. Similar to NZD/USD, bit of a channel keeping us on the uptrend. Looking at the highs of price and the lows. So again, you've got the channel keeping us in that uptrend. Price action isn't really there for us. We could see one more move to the upside for NZD/CAD, NZD/USD before we see the drop. That is still possible. So again, we'll be patient and try to avoid getting in and jumping the gun here. So waiting for some strong price action for both pairs, and looking for a retest of this area of daily resistance, now daily support. And of course, if we break through there, you can go a lot further. You can see previously we had a nice test of the move 200 moving average on the daily chart, another test of the 200 moving average on the daily chart, big push the upside from the 200 moving average. So potentially could be seeing price come all the way back down to test the 200 moving average again. Of course, that's more of a long-term point of view, but again, we could be seeing that happen because the daily chart does have that strength. But just looking for a test of this previous resistance turn support for NZD/CAD. Next, we're going to take a look at GPNZD. Now, GPNZD, we did see a break of a key level in the market here on the daily chart. You can see support there, big push upside, support there again. So we did close below at the end of the last week's candle, and we're still trading below it. So potentially could be seeing either price close back above that level and just give us a false breakout just to take out people's trades, their stop losses, or we could see price hold at this area and potentially continue further to the downside. So there's two possibilities there. Again, price action on the 4H is not the best so far. We did see some strong bullish candles coming in, but lately we've seen some wicks to the upside. So it does show some signs that we are struggling to break higher. Of course, if you start to see some strong bullish candles coming back into the market, the momentum can shift, and of course we can continue forward. And if that happens and we see a daily candle close back above this support area, that is a sign that we've had a false breakout and GPNZD could be on its way to the upside. But then again, if we do hold at this level and we find some resistance, we can continue further to the downside. So I need to be looking out for that. Wait for some better price action to come back into GPNZD, and we could be seeing a false breakout on the daily chart. Next, we're going to take a look at Euro NZD. Similar thing to GPNZD, they move similarly. Both have obviously the New Zealand dollar in the market. So looking for a swing to the upside for this one. We did see a big push to the downside on the weekly chart. You can see we have previous support holding us in the market. Was a weekly resistance there, then turned support, broke back below it, no retest. So again, expecting a move back to the upside to come and retest that area from a weekly point of view. Daily, we've been moving nice to the downside, but we are starting to run out of momentum now and could be seeing another push to the upside come into the market soon. Similar to GPNZD, we do have some previous support in the market for daily chart, which is turn resistance. As you can see, support there, big bullish candle come through that area. We broke back below it. Now we're trading just below that area on the daily chart. So again, that will be acting as resistance, but we could easily see price goes back above, giving us a false breakout, and then see a longer swing to the upside. And the close below is just to catch people on the wrong side of the market. That is still a possibility. Price action on the 4H is looking a little bit better than GPNZD, but essentially we just are moving sideways. Again, so no real indication to get me into the market here. We're just moving sideways, and as long as we keep moving sideways, we can either break to the upside or to the downside. There's a 50-50 chance really. So not looking to jump the gun there, waiting for some stronger price action to come back into the market, and we could see a longer swing to the upside. And again, if you do break above there, we could be on our way up to go and retest that weekly level there. So a lot of upside potential for EURNZD and GPNZD, and of course for EURNZD we're coming up to the 200 weekly moving average as well, so that does have some potential there. But again, if you do close back above, could be seeing a longer move to the upside. Euro GBP, we saw some strong bullishness come into the market last week for GPNZD, for Euro GBP, and we did see some nice candles on the 4H as well. As you can see here, big push the upside. We did come and test a previous trend line in the 4H, working at the highs. As you can see here, initial test all the way up here, second test there, then we had a third test recently, and we saw a move to the downside. So if price wants to get above this trend line, we could be in for a longer move to the upside for Euro GBP, potentially testing previous highs in the market. You can see we did have some really nice resistance previously here on the daily chart. Initial test there, second there, big move to the downside, broke above it. Could be on our way back to test that level if we do go and breach this trend line, or potentially even test the highs that we previously were all the way up there. So Euro GBP, only interested in the move to the upside for this one. Again, we have to see a break of the trend line for price to really get going. Of course, it will be acting resistance, and as long as price holds at that level, we could easily see a swing back to the downside. But I'm expecting price to go and break the trend line now, since we are starting to see some strong reversal signs on the daily and the 4H chart. So again, we could see that go a lot further. And if we take a look at AUD CHF, now this one, it's still expecting a swing to the downside for this one. You can see on the daily chart, we did see a move to the upside. We're back at previous highs in the market. So again, test there, now we're having a third test. Sort of are just moving sideways, like in a range for AUD CHF. You can see you've got the lows down there, a bit of a false breakout. and then we saw price move back to the upside. So again, bit of moving sideways, probably due for another swing back down. Again, retesting the lows down here, and then again we can make our judgment when price gets there and see what type of price action we are getting. But for now, it does look like we are struggling to create some new highs for AUDCHF on the resistance there. And if we do manage to create some new highs and we see a breakout, we can go a lot further. Of course, you can see on the weekly chart potential reversal on the cards, but we do have a really strong downtrend on the weekly chart here, and so I am favouring another swing back to the downside because of that, and the weekly to start to take control. We're losing steam, and doesn't look like we are going to create some higher highs and break out of this range. So again, bias to the downside for AUDCHF, and could be seeing some nice swings to the downside from a daily and a 4H point of view for AUDCHF. And if you do see some momentum breaking through this previous low here, which got us into this uptrend, again we can go a lot further and go and test the lows down here. And if you break through that again, we can go a lot further and probably start to see the weekly chart start to take control. So far currently in USDCHF in a long position for this one, expecting a move to the upside. We want to go and test some previous daily support. As you can see, a bit of a false breakout there with the vaccine news, and we saw a brief move to the upside, not too long ago, and then we'll come back down after the retesting some previous support term resistance. As you can see across here, support was term resistance, and we saw a move to the downside. So still holding my position and expecting a move to the upside. We do have some targets from our trend lines on the daily chart and the 4H chart. So again, we do have a nice trend line going through the market here. So you can connect the highs of price there. You have a really nice trend line. So again, looking for a test of that area, and if we break through that, we can go a lot further. So initially a test there, break through that, can go a lot further. But again, first target is the trend line, because we could easily see another move back to the downside there. So looking to hold this position. We did see a move back down, and still expecting to see a push to the upside in the 4-hourly chart for USDCHF. Stop losses below the previous support area, so no need for me to exit this trade yet. So again, looking for a swing to the upside. So going to be seeing how this trade gets on. If anyone wants me to look at any different charts, any different pairs, just put it in the live chat. I'll make sure I give you some analysis on that pair. But like I said, just going to see how charts are getting on throughout the live stream. Got some eyes on NZD USD and NZD CAD for some swings to the downside, and just going to be seeing how USDCHF plays out as well. Okay, so going to do a quick analysis of Euro NZD. Okay, so for this one, we could be seeing a move to the upside. Like I said, from the higher time frames, like the weekly, we saw a big move to the downside. We broke through this previous resistance here. Previous resistance turned support on the weekly time frame. It held us quite nicely. We're moving sideways, then we saw a big breakout to the downside. So we didn't get any retest of that area from a weekly point of view. So we could be on our way to going back, on our way back to go and retest that area. Daily, we saw that move as well. We did break through some previous daily support here in the market. As you can see, daily support will return to resistance, so that's probably why we are moving sideways. For Euro NZD, we're just below that daily support now. Now's the time resistance, so price is obviously struggling to break back above it. But if you do see price break back above this area of support, we could be seeing a longer move to the upside to go and test that same area of weekly support, now time resistance. So again, we could be have a scenario of a false breakout, essentially price break below, catch people alongside the market, take out stop losses, and then we see price close back above that support. And now if we do see price hold from that, again we could be seeing a longer swing to the upside. So that's still in the cards for UNZD. However, again for the 4H, we're just moving sideways as price is struggling to break back above that area of resistance now. But if we do see that area get breached and see price close above, then again we could be definitely be on for a longer move to the upside. We did see price break out of this H4 trend line here. As you can see, multiple tests of this trend line are keeping us in a nice downwards trend. We saw price break out of it yesterday. We haven't really seen any major pushes to the upside yet, but again that could be on the cards and is a sign that we could be seeing a push to the upside rather than price continuing to the downside. So again, I'm probably favouring a move to the upside for Euro NZD as well, since we had that breakout in the weekly. No pullbacks or nothing. Daily chart, no pullbacks either. Bouncing support, broke back below it. Probably expecting price to break back above that area of support now and continue on. But as for now, we're just moving sideways, and probably just because of the resistance above it. So again, if you start to see some strong bullish candles coming back into the market on the 4H and the daily chart, we could be on our way back up. So that's my analysis on Euro NZD. Probably are expecting a move to the upside rather than a push back down. Yeah, that's a good place to have your stop loss as well, because again that's just the area that we're moving sideways, just below there. Again, probably people originally had the stop losses below the support highlighted here, and again those candles closing below would have took their stop losses out, so we could be seeing a pushy upside. So again, nice place to have your stop loss, to be fair. And if we start to see some strong bullish candles come back into the market, we could be on our way back up and see a longer swing to the upside for Euro NZD. So probably expect to move to the upside for this one, but again, just have an obstacle in our way right now. But we could see that getting broken if we start to see some strong bullish candles come back into the market. So again, expecting to move to the upside, but we do need to see a break of that daily resistance now. Okay, so it's just gone 12:30, so I'm going to look to end the live stream shortly. We're going to do a quick rundown of what's happened so far since I last spoke at 10 a.m. So you can see that with UCCHF, which is my current trade, we've pulled back quite a lot. We did see a big push to the upside, and you can see why we've had this push back down. You can see previous support there in the market, term resistance there on the daily chart, and prices found that area of resistance, and we had to push back down. I'm still looking to hold the trade though. We have previous daily support here, so I'm expecting that area to hold more significance. As you can see where we are on the weekly chart, we're right back at the lows of price where we initially had that nice move to the upside. So still treating this as a pullback and expecting price to come test the lows and then continue higher from a weekly point of view. So I am using the higher time frames to influence my decision here, but we do have some nice support there. Broke below it, and then we broke back above, false breakout, and now we're testing the same area again. So my stop loss just underneath that support. So as long as we hold at that support, still looking to carry on the trade and see if we can go and get a test of the trend line, or potentially go and break that and go further. So I'm going to see how that plays out the rest of the day, and probably we'll be speaking about it again tomorrow. ADUSD. For this one, we saw a push to the upside recently, breaking above this previous resistance in the 4-hourly, broke back below it, retested that as support, and then we'll kind of retest it again. So it'll be interesting to see if ADUSD goes on to break through this this support now, because if we do, you can probably see a longer move back to the downside. You can see on the daily chart where we were at previous resistance all the way up here. We retested it again, so potentially got a double top coming up for ADUSD potentially. If we do go and break through this support here, we can go a lot further. We've got many targets, got support all the way down here, got resistance here that will be turned support, and of course you've got the lows all the way down there, potentially ADUSD can go and head to. So we've got a lot of targets to the downside for ADUSD, but nonetheless we're still stuck at some support on the 4-hourly, and as long as price holds at that level, we could easily see another move back to the upside and price go create some higher highs. So if you do see a break again, ADUSD can be on its way to the downside. EURUSD, similarly, we did see price find some support after a strong move to the downside. You can see previous resistance for us there in the market. You see resistance there again, broke above price, found support, and then we saw another push to the upside. So we are still looking like we're moving to the upside for EURUSD, because you can see the recent candles were quite bullish on the 4-hourly chart, but however we haven't created any new highs, which is an important thing. You can see we have resistance up there in the 4H. We saw a big push to the downside. Price has gone back up to retest that same area, and we're starting to see some rejection. So again, if we do hold there, we could be seeing a break of the support below us. Then again, if you do see that break similar to ADUSD, we do have a lot of room to move further and see a breakout of that support area. So again, expecting a move to the downside for EURUSD, but if we do hold, again, there is room to go higher. We did test price all the way up here. You can see late August, we wicked all the way up to the highs up here. I had a move to the downside, now back at it again. So potentially double top scenario could be coming up for EURUSD as well. But again, we could be getting some false breakouts, take some people's trades out, and then we start to see the swing to the downside. So that is still possible, but again, just waiting for some nice price actions to come into that pair. USD CAD still expecting a move to the upside for this one. You can see we're kind of still in this channel a little bit. We do have previous support all the way down here. Previous support gave us a nice move to the upside. We retested it again with this channel a couple of times, and so far we're looking to hold. It's on a few wicks to the downside there, so price is showing signs that we are holding, and if we do, we can get a longer move to the upside. If we do break out of this channel, again, we can see a potential test of the highs of the channel, or maybe a test of the daily trend line. As you can see on the daily time frame, an initial test there, a second there, and a third test of this trend line. So probably due a fourth test of the same trend line if you do see a breakout of the initial channel to go and test the daily trend line. And if we break through the daily trend line, again, we can go a lot further. Got the 200 average on the daily, not too far away. So again, a lot of upside potential for USD CAD, but again, still kind of stuck in that channel. But if you do see price start to give us strong bullish price action and then go and break that channel, again, there's a lot of room to the upside. USD CHF, again, not too much going, USD sorry, not too much going on for this one. Again, like I said, we do have this daily trend line keeping us in a downwards trend. We're probably now expecting a fifth test of this trend line soon to come. As you can see, initial test there, second there, third, fourth. And again, we're failing to make lower lows As you can see, we made a higher low there for USDJPY. You can see initially that's where the vaccine news came in, and then we had a test there, and now price is struggling to make lower lows. So it is showing sign that we are failing to push lower, and we could be seeing a push to go and test the trend line. And again, that could mean we could be finally breaking out of it if the trend line fails to hold price. So if we do see a break, again, we can go a long way up. The 200 moving average is not too far away, and we've got many resistance targets where price could look to go and test on its way to the upside. So a reversal is looking like it could be happening soon for USDJPY, but again, as long as price stays below that resistance, that trend line, again, price could easily roll back over and continue to the downside. So not going to try and jump the gun with this one. Again, price action is not really the best. If this was to make one move to the downside, one last move to the downside, go and test the lows down here again, maybe a false breakout, that could be a nice place to buy back into the markets, expecting another test of the trend line up there. But as of yet, kind of moving sideways for USDJPY. So I'm going to leave this pair alone and wait for a better opportunity when it makes some more moves, either to the upside or to the downside. So I'm going to wait for that. Currently just in USDCHF, going to see how this trade plays out. Again, like I said, we'll be talking about it again during tomorrow's live stream, so make sure you don't miss that out, and come check it out 10 a.m. GMT tomorrow morning. But like I said, it's the end of the live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. I left a link to that in the live chat and in the description below, because I post a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that, so make sure you check all of that out. But like I said, it's the end of the live stream. Thank you for joining me, and until the next one, I will see you later.